There they are. There they are. There they are. Oh. Marmora, New Jersey. Here they are. And they do sound like drones. Yo, look, it looks like a triangle. Look. It looks like a triangle. Go. Well, here they are. They look like a triangle. They look like a triangle. No way. And an F-16 just flew over. No way.
Has barricaded the world with hell. Greed has poisoned men's souls. Has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed.
Greetings and welcome to Ancient Library. This is an urgent ufology episode covering the so-called Mystery Drone Sightings, which are currently reported from many locations around the world, most prevalent in the UK on UK-US military bases and the New Jersey area in the United States. Before we dissect the current events, I'm going to give a quick overview on the program. I will start with the few things we really know at this point and the current locations of active reported alleged drone sightings, followed by a list of things we currently don't know, opening up to a section covering the potential reasons, unusual government behavior, a quick thought experiment, and my current synopsis on the situation. So let's jump right in with section 1. What we currently know about the mystery drone situation. So since the first report on the 16th of November, increasingly more drone-like unidentified flying objects were spotted in the UK on UK-US military bases, like for example Lakenheath, which is located in the southeast of England. A few days later, I was not able to find an exact date. The same drone type of air vehicles were reported in the New Jersey area, located near New York on the east coast of the United States. I want to continue with a list of minimal speculative baseline information which was created by the chain of events regarding the mystery drone incursion. Multiple hundred, potential up to 1,000 reported sightings combined in the two separate locations. At first, these things should be considered UFOs, which means unidentified flying objects. Since they are called drones, the baseline assumption of a certain conventional propulsion is given. I would guess mostly determined by the buzzing drone-like sounds which people are perceiving. Conventional drones are also supposed to have remote ID and broadcast location at all times, and are supposed to fly below 400 feet above the ground, to not interfere with air traffic and to secure sensitive facilities like military bases, for example. The drones are operating mostly at nighttime, which is unusual for the perspective of a conventional drone remote control user. Speaking of a human being, I know I said minimal speculation, but maybe it's an automated or AI-based system, which doesn't need light to perceive visible data like we do with our eyes. The shape varies. We got all kinds of sizes from a normal conventional recreational drone up to school bus-sized drones, and the terms flying cars were mentioned. The dynamic which is created by the event brings more eyes and awareness on the sky, so naturally more data input is given and more UFOs. So normal drones and potentially previously unacknowledged phenomena is mixed in with footage from the so-called mystery drones of unknown origin. The government and big media cycles are not giving much information on the drone events. The general response in relation to the magnitude of the unauthorized breaching of airspace, especially in the US and even more especially on the Upper East Coast, not even mentioning the UK-US military bases with alleged nuclear assets, is very questionable. So let's take a closer look on the UK drone sightings, the unidentified drones in the UK. So the UK drone incursion was supposedly happening first around mid to end November, and sightings above 4 US-UK military bases were reported. There were also reports of different types of unknown drones from civilian people which live in the nearby cities and villages. I'm going to show the exact locations of the 4 bases on the screen. At least one of these bases was in discussion of having nuclear weapons and assets. It's not really clear if these nuclear assets are ICBM-type nuclear warheads or smaller tactical nukes, but I want to add here that in my opinion these military bases are most likely the most sensitive operative facilities of US troops in Central Europe. Yeah, I forgot to mention that all of these 4 military bases are stacked with US Air Force personnel, so it's literally more like a US military base on NATO ground, and God knows what else they got stored around there. But back to the drone incursions, so there are just a few things to say about the drones itself. We got different shapes and sizes, some look like triangular craft with blinking green and red lights. The UK-US military seems to have problems taking down the drones, so they seem to have some kind of sophistication, so no recreational hobby Walmart type of drones. The long uptime, no pun intended, is also playing into the fact that these drones seem to have at least some industrial level of capabilities. Mostly out at night, but also reported in the daytime. Like already mentioned, maybe not controlled via manual, remote control and normal camera vision. I would love to see a direct comparison from official sources of the drones in UK and New Jersey to see potential similarities, but it's very hard to find multiple pieces of quality footage of the UK sightings. They seem to be overridden by the New Jersey stuff on the algorithms. Some people stated that there were similar types of drones around in both locations. So let's keep it compact and we will move to the other location about 3,500 miles west, the US East Coast, more precise, New Jersey. So before I give some additional information, let's watch a quick clip of very recent legacy media report of the New Jersey drone sightings.
Well, it's been the talk in New Jersey lately, mysterious drones flying above multiple counties, and no one really seems to know exactly what's going on.
So this has caught the attention of many. Fox 5's Richard Jacobus takes a look at the latest sightings in the sky.
These are all drones in the sky.
It may look like videos from the TV series The Unexplained, what appears to be mystery drones flying over some New Jersey communities.
I can see 3 drones.
From down at the shore all the way to the Army facility in Morris County.
They just hover. A little bit over there, a little bit over there, a little bit, but they just hover back and forth.
Wharton, New Jersey resident and Terror Talk podcast host Michael B. has spent the past 2 weeks attempting to see what these peculiar-looking light-up moving dots are in the sky with a drone of his own. But so far, he hasn't had any luck.
The other night, there was, right here over Picatinny, there was a drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. I had full battery life. Not 3 minutes into the flight, I lost control of the drone. Warning on my screen, lost control, and my drone started going down, dead battery.
Michael lives less than a quarter mile from the Picatinny Arsenal Army base, and it has been there over the past few weeks where the military says they have spotted at least 11 unauthorized drones. Governor Phil Murphy says he now needs federal help in finding out where these are coming from.
It's really frustrating that we don't have more answers as to where they're coming from and why they're doing what they're doing.
Down near Monmouth County, the Monmouth County Sheriff also urging federal and state officials to take prompt action addressing these sightings. Jeff Frost from Matawan says he finds himself looking out of his window every night with a bit of fear.
It's so weird. It's such an eerie feeling. I can't really describe it. As each passing day goes by and there's less, more conversation about it, but less explicit, what this is, it becomes a little creepier.
Could be aliens.
Officials aren't going that far, but are asking the public to be aware and keep reporting what they see until someone figures out what's flying in the skies over New Jersey. In Wharton, New Jersey, Richard Jacobus, Fox 5 News.
So for the New Jersey drones, we got loads of different videos recorded by the public via smartphone, etc. They were reported in many different shapes and sizes and were hovering mostly when the sun was hidden. These drones were up for several hours and nobody seems to know anything substantial about the reason and or the mission these drones have. Not to speak of the origin and most important, who is controlling these unidentified drones in high numbers. We will run through a lot of many potential explanations for these events later in the video. After about 3 weeks, the drones are still around and were also spotted over the ocean, public and military facilities. And earlier this month, statements, for example, from the New Jersey police were and are circulating on X and Reddit. I will show something on the screen. Also, the House Homeland Security Committee was holding a hearing on unmanned aerial systems regarding the New Jersey events, but besides the typical verbal acrobatics, no real substantial data was broadcasted through this hearing. I will later expand on the unusual government behavior and the potential reasons for it to do so. So we move to the next section, what we don't know, and that's quite a lot.
And, sometimes I feel like I'm in the twilight zone up here. Like month after month, people come before us, they testify, and you don't get a lot of answers. And it's concerning, it's frustrating. You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are. You're telling me that a lot of these, Mr. Jones, you're telling me that 90%, 95% of these drones along the U.S.-Mexico border, we can't interact because they're not in U.S. territory?
That is correct. A large proportion of them stay in foreign airspace.
I'll tell you what, there are a lot of Americans that are very frustrated right now that are essentially questioning where are my taxpayer dollars going? You know, this Doge craze that's kind of starting to take hold. This is very real. I mean, this is going to come. People are going to have to come before the carpet, and they're going to have to explain every single line item. What do you do here? What does this get? And so let me ask a very specific question. Mr. Wheeler, how much of the FBI budget goes towards counter-UAS?
So the technical part of operational budget that I have within the critical incident response groups, just less than 500,000.
500,000? That's nothing. Well, why is it so low?
Well, I don't.
And I wonder we don't know what the hell is going on. 500,000.
So this was a short clip from the aforementioned hearing, and this stuff indeed sounds like the prequel of a new Independence Day movie. I will continue with a list of things which I would consider unknown variables in regards to the drone incursions in New Jersey and on the UK military bases. The origin, which faction and from where the drones are getting controlled. The motive, the mission or purpose of the drones as a collective operation. The technology, some tech aspects seem rather sophisticated. There are no official takedowns reported as of yet, so this plays into the fact that these drones are not like normal recreational drones every hobbyist can buy in a store. The operating systems, in terms of technology, I mean the architecture of hardware and software seems to be not normal, or at least they are not able to be taken down via digital signals, and in this case not even with physical stuff. At least it seems like that. Then we got the potential payload, weaponry or surveillance. These are big drones. If they say they are big like a school bus, I mean they can carry weapons and other stuff. We got no clue what's inside of these drones. And how much is known by the government and the intelligence sector? That's unknown to us because they say they are no threat and they don't know what they are. What are the active countermeasures? They seem to be inexistent. And why aren't we getting more statements from higher officials? And the list goes on, but for now let's move on to the next chapter, the potential reasons, explanations for both drone incursions. So at first I want to mention that these US military bases are basically only hosted by the United States Air Force. So the only thing British on these facilities is the ground on which they are built on. So the first possibility which comes to mind is Russia or China, so the conventional adversary groups which would be eventually able to conduct such greater scale drone maneuvers. Some people say they won't admit it's those adversaries because they want to avoid a Third World War. I want to just leave the sentence here. The second possibility in my eyes would be US contractor or the so-called deep state who is conducting a false flag operation to reach whatever narrative shift they aim for. Let's call this possibility PsyOp number 1. The next possibility is a terrorist type of motive or separate groups, maybe independent or founded by the CIA, etc. I know this is very unlikely, but I want to still put everything on the table in this section of the program. The next thing, UFO or UAP phenomena. I will mention it a couple times in this video. The term UFO means just identified flying object. The determination of drones is made by buzzing sounds and other characteristics, but the quality threshold of this identification seems pretty raw, without serious data and analysis. For example, I know it's unlikely, but these sounds and appearances could be simulated to mimic familiar, known to human aircraft, also called mimicry in nature. So this point will embrace all possibilities of a genuine unknown source or intelligence controlling these so-called drones, also including the ocean as a possible origin and everything which is attached to that thought process. The next point, the beginning, pre-program or test run for another PsyOp, the fake alien invasion, which is highly discussed in the field of conspiracies or ufology. And this take actually got some meat on the bone. So let's put this as PsyOp number 2. So these were 5 options formulated by myself, and I got one more in form of a short clip, which was filmed a few hours ago on US Live TV. Posted on X by Red Panda Koala.
Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones. It's everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly.
So apparently an Iranian mothership was launched a month ago. I mean, this response doesn't improve the whole situation at all, and I'm curious to hear everyone's opinion on this wild statement and if there is any substance to it. So that's a good transition to the next section. Let's talk about how the government is reacting to these drone incidents. So at first I want to say that I find it fascinating how normal people and fisher boats can come remotely near any military facilities without being flagged to get shot, especially on US territory. And these drones are flying around wherever they want with impunity, and the US forces seem extremely helpless. They repeat that the drones are no threat, but they don't know what they are. This is the perfect starting script for an alien invasion type movie. Seriously, a clear case of cognitive dissonance. To say there's no threat, but we got no idea what they are, and we are unable to remove them from our airspace. While things which are labeled flying cars and school bus-sized drones with potential payloads are flying over cities and military facilities of one of the most military technological sophisticated countries on this planet. And people are supposed to believe that. I've already played a short, rather entertaining clip from the 2-hour House Homeland Security Committee hearing on unmanned aerial systems, which is giving a good summary of the output of the event. I don't know what's more bad, the acknowledgement of the impotence of the FBI, etc., or the general message, no threat, which is often attached to it these days in connection to the drone incursions over US territory. Shortly after we got a New Jersey representative calling out Iran and using the distinct word mothership, we got an update from the Pentagon. Let me play this new clip, which can be seen as the latest official update as I'm making this video, approaching the end of the first third of December 2024.
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
So let's conduct a quick thought experiment and expand more on the simple terminology of UFO and UAP. So the basic premise or thought process I want to allude to is to imagine you are having a personal experience, nothing esoteric or religious, a UFO sighting. So you can see something flying in the air which you are not able to identify it right away. This can be projected on many things, and for many people the term UFO is connected to flying saucers and aliens, which isn't accurate by definition. It's basically something similar to a preconceived notion. The term was used so many times in relation to flying disc or alien spacecraft in movies and media in the last decades. But back to the sighting, what happens then? Depends on the person, but imagine you would decide to contact a local news outlet and post the sighting on social platforms like Reddit and X, if you make a video for example. Which many people had done with the recent drone incursions, only with the addition they call them drones instead of UFOs. So now a potential amount of people will judge the uploaded footage, which is completely theoretical in this example. But with AI and current tech, a fair amount of people got the baseline perspective that we can't believe or trust a single video which is uploaded. So it's possible your genuine sighting and report gets lost in a huge swamp of data containing genuine sightings, fake hoaxes, and AI creations, and false reported non-UFO material. So that is basically what I wanted to show. And if the aforementioned situation would happen today, the sighting and footage would have a very hard way to break through the highly oversaturated algorithms on YouTube and threads on Reddit. So my current synopsis on the drone madness, which is seemingly ongoing for almost 4 weeks over US and UK soil. The duration and scale of this mysterious operation is bizarre for itself. What exactly is the purpose of these drones over the Upper East Coast and UK military bases hosted by US Air Force troops? Of course I don't know, but the whole story seems pretty unreal in terms of movie-like. Not only the actual happenings, but the media and government responses and reactions after more than 25 days are not really satisfying anyone with the slightest bit of curiosity, or even people which feel unsafe because unknown declared drones fly over their houses multiple times a day. I want to expand a little more on drone technology and how this stuff has evolved in the last years, and what is even possible with non-military grade drones combined with rather simple computer systems not even involving serious AI tech at this point. So in this clip you can see a successful attempt for a world record for flying the most drones outdoors with a single computer, in this case over 10,000 drones. This is obviously more a recreational civil type of use of drones, and this is no way near the sophistication and size of the reported drones in the UK and New Jersey. The important part is the fact that only one person is maneuvering and coordinating these drones, even at nighttime. So the existence of software applications which are able to provide easy access and control over thousands of drones performing flawless, in this case more creative and artistic acts, is pretty clear. I'm not an expert in drone technology, but I guess this level of casual sophistication shown in this clip is just the beginning, and I can imagine military-industrial interfaces for one or a few people which are able to conduct whole wars on their own, while using a massively advanced coordination technology system which is even operable flawlessly at nighttime. For me, one of the most important questions is, was the government able to take down at least one drone and was therefore able to analyze the hard and software and extract information for answers for all the other questions which were asked in this video regarding origin and motive, etc. of these drones? And if they were not able to down a drone, why that's the case, and a detailed explanation on why that seems so impossible to achieve, even after several weeks. The only conclusive sentence I can give in this current synopsis is that all of this stuff makes nearly zero damn sense. They are either desperately lying to the public, or they are actually dead helpless. Nevertheless, one thing is clear, we are living in extraordinary wild times, and I'm inviting everyone who is interested into a discussion about the subject in the comments. And I hope more crucial information will see the light of day very soon. So until next time, LIBRA.